Let's get more offensive to the feminists.
Let's do it.
So we got this story. This is from Daily Mail. Women reveal how their appearances have dramatically changed since they met their partners, saying comfort eating, birth control, and babies have completely altered their bodies. This is, in many ways, the purpose of marriage. Young women and young men getting together and having a contract to each other under God till death do us part. Because back in the day, it's a problem if a dude continuously becomes more valuable and more attractive and the woman doesn't. And then you end up with a bunch of angry women and you end up with a bunch of philandering men or womanizing men. To have structure, they said, okay, we'll do marriage. Well, nowadays, divorce. Marriage is meaningless. There was a meme where it was like, it was a guy on his knee with a ring and he says, will you enter into a government contract with me that you're allowed to break at any time? And if you do, you get half my stuff. And she says, yes, 1,000,000 times yes. It's like, if that's the mentality that we have this today, there's no guarantee in marriage. Why would anyone do it? Back in the day, if you tried to get divorced, the judge would be like, I sentence you to marriage counseling. Like, you can't, you've got to figure it out. And you guys have a mutual agreement with each other. You've got a family, you're going to raise it. And it made sense. So today, I think this is a good example of why there was marriage. You got images of these women. We're just going to these are posts, they show themselves. Being a size 6, meeting my BF. And here's her 2 years later as a 12 to 14 due to contraception and eating bad food the first few months of after meeting him. So now she's getting overweight. Here's one where she's like, here's me first, me my BF, and now here's her now. To be fair, this one she's actively pregnant, so I don't think that's actually fair to criticize her. Here's one where she's like, here's how I look, I'm fat. There are a ton of women, celebrities or otherwise, who have kids and then go work out and get fit, get back in shape because they're trying to look good. And there are a lot of women that look really, really good as soon as they get married. That's the trope. They let themselves go. Mm-hmm. That's why is it that in TV shows they have that trope of letting themselves go?
So I'll say this, right? Think about this. You play a game, right? And let's say you're playing level 1. Okay, you're doing whatever you need to do to make level 2. At the last stage, level 10, is a boss, right? At the boss fight, you pull all the stops. You upgrade your weapons.
You finally use your potions.
Exactly. Exactly. So you have the last legendary weapon. You slay the boss. Now you're finished the game. You're not putting any more effort into the game because you already won the game. Same thing with relationships with these women. They find a guy that they can lock down and can take care of them, and they put all the effort into it at the beginning to get that guy. Yeah. Now that they got the guy, it's like, okay, if I leave, I get to have his stuff, and I'll be good. So I can do whatever I feel like because now he's under my frame. So I feel like marriage itself, church and store, definitely has a place for women to strive, but for men, it's a very detrimental thing to do because you can and I want to say this, right? So women have the advantage because they can leave anytime and get what they want. But the guy, if he leaves, he's going to lose. So I'm just saying, in that situation, they have all the leverage. And just being there, they can win and do whatever they feel like. Because now they leave, like I said before, they get everything. And that's it.
I think that prenuptial agreements should be automatic. And that you should have to file to do away with it. The idea that there is no prenup going into it and that everything you used to own is now half owned by that person because of the signage is insane to me.
Here's the problem, though. Prenups don't always work.
No.
And if you do a prenup, let's say they can say it was under duress. He forced me to do it. So they can always wiggle their way out. My thing is, okay, why even get... This pisses me off, bro. Because it's kind of like, I understand why women leverage sex against men in marriages because they can. Because think about it. If you leave your wife and you've been together for 10 years, alimony, child support, all these things come into play and you're stuck there. So my thing is, these women can take advantage because the law allows them to. So how do you avoid this? Don't get married.
Here's a really interesting tidbit. We mentioned this in a previous segment. One of a large component, a large factor in divorces is the woman making more money than the man. The man is no longer attractive when he's not economically attractive because, like you guys mentioned, what are women looking for? Lifestyle, status, confidence. So if they're in a relationship and the woman is making a bunch of money, I have the story from Market Watch. They actually say, they frame it in a very funny way. They say, this one thing in your marriage increases the risk of divorce by 33%.
I hate that headline.
And they show the image. When the man is making more than the woman, things are good. When the woman is making more than the man, things are bad. Basically, when the man is no longer attracted to the woman, she leaves. What about these guys that they're in a relationship? This woman says she beat the game. She lets herself go. She doesn't exercise. She doesn't eat right anymore. Now she's overweight and unattractive. It's wrong for the guy to be like, I'm not attracted to this anymore. You've broken your agreement with me.
Here's the problem. And I've said this on the show many times, and I'll say it. I'm going to probably trigger some feminists right now, but the thing is this. Women want traditional men, but they don't want to necessarily be traditional women. Yep. They want a guy that's taller than them, makes more money than them, confident, attractive, etc. If someone breaks into the house, he can handle it and protect her and be willing to die for her, right? But she ain't going to make him a sandwich. Oh, you toxic misogynist. Make your own sandwich. So they want to be modern women when it suits them, but they want to be traditional when it suits them as well. And that's the problem. That's why we tell guys, don't get married nowadays. Don't put yourself in a situation where the woman has all the leverage. Yep. Because when she has the leverage, bad things are going to happen. And we know it because look at 80% of divorces are initiated by women. So you see what happens when women have leverage. They leave. And here's the other thing. Like as a man, you have a burden of performance. Men don't ask for much from women. Women ask far more of men than men ask of women. So my thing is something simple like bedroom fun. We'll keep it YouTube friendly, right? How many sexless marriages are there out there? Or worse yet, I see on TikTok a wife saying, you're not going to get any unless you take out the trash. You're not going to get any unless you mow the lawn, blah, blah, blah. But if someone breaks into the house, you're expected to protect this woman with your life and she don't even want to give you no bedroom fun. That's BS. That's why we tell guys, most of the time, unless you want to have kids, you shouldn't get married at all. Because women get in line when they know that you have other women in line. That's why we tell guys to not date exclusively, to date non-exclusively, and all this other stuff.
Let's think about the actual math of the situation here. It sounds like feminism has been the greatest gift to
high value men.
To guys like us.
High value
men.
To guys like us.
Men. But another way to put it is feminism has actually reverted society back to a more primitive state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of feminism, I would say it's the greatest, like I said, high value men, guys who are confident, successful, wealthy. They can get any woman they want, whenever they want, with no obligations, no commitment. And better yet, half the time the women are working careers and doing a bunch of the work. So there was a meme where a feminist was like, or it was a meme where a woman said, feminism is a trick, you guys. The men are going to sit around playing video games all day while they make us do all the work. Right? But it's a joke. But what ends up happening is you look back at how things used to be in the tribal sense.
Yep.
The alpha male, the high value man would, get whatever woman he wanted.
All of them.
And if you look at how in the animal kingdom, typically it's like the most dominant, powerful male, takes all the women.
15 wives.
Roosters got like
gorillas.
12 ladies. They take it, they fight each other, they kill the other one, and then they take their harem. So right now, because of all this, like you mentioned, these guys go on Instagram and they can just DM 50 women and get back 5 messages, and then one of them is a go.
Yep. And that's what I've said it before. What feminism has actually done is it's given all the sexual leverage to the highest tier men, inadvertently, to the unbeknown to them. They've basically given all leverage to the men that will never actually commit to them. And what happens is the guys that are, good husbands, good potential long-term partners, those guys get left out in the dust. And the women don't come back to them until, maybe their youth is gone or whatever it may be. And then you end up with these marriages that don't end up working out because the guy isn't getting her best, but he's still held to a certain standard that he has to provide.
There was a chart. I think it might have been Leonardo DiCaprio, but if it's not, forgive me, Leo, for besmirching your honorable name. But it was like this guy dates women and marries women and divorces them at almost the exact same ages. Like he starts dating at 24 and then at like 34.
It's Leo. He doesn't date any girl over 25.
Yeah. 25. It's Leo.
Yeah.
He dates and then dumps them and then dates and then dumps. He dates them when
smart man.
Very smart.
Smart. He's because here's the thing. Let's be honest about it, right? The women want him for his status and his value. Right? They want to be around an A-list celebrity, whatever. So he's like, okay, you want to share my time with a high status man? I want the best and the brightest. The problem is this: when men put women on, we want preferences. This is what we want in women. It's considered misogynistic and rude or discrimination. But when a woman has standards, it's considered preferences. It's completely okay for women to exert their boundaries and what they want in men, but it's not okay for men to do it. Men are shamed for doing it.
Think about what we're talking about in this segment. A guy could lose his job and make less money, and now he's not economically attractive anymore, and then you get a divorce. But a man, even criticizing the fact that these women are overweight, they've let themselves go, and it's considered misogynistic or sexist or offensive.
And I'll take it a step further. Society actually encourages women to leave their men we no longer provides because they get the money. 80% of divorces are initiated by women. The family courts destroy men. They're heavily gynocentric. So what is there any benefit to really getting married in today's day and age?
Yeah,
I can't see many.
Even social media, you see it all the time. Girls leaving their men for other men, and it's funny because when you're married to a woman, right? Guess what happens? Let's say you lose your job, like you said earlier, and you're no longer, I would say you're no longer like attractive to her. She can go cheat and have fun on the side, and then still take half your money.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.